Right fellas, welcome back to a brand new video. Now a little over a year ago I picked up this sapphire Cosworth from Scotland and it's been an ongoing restoration project. I've done a lot of work on it since I've had it. Now one thing that's always bugged us is the leather interior, and a couple of videos ago I picked up this cloth Recaro interior. This is off a standard two-wheel drive sapphire Cosworth, which is what I've got here. And on this video today we're going to have a go at repairing, fixing, cleaning and getting it in the Cosworth, in my sapphire Cosworth. Now before I can even start on this, I need to get the leather out the car. So the front seats in the Sierra Cosworth are held in with 5 M10 bolts. There's a bolt on each corner apart from the seatbelt corner, which has 2 bolts. What this does is it just gives a bit extra strength in the event of a crash, so you don't go flying through your windscreen. Now when removing a seat, it's got a big metal bracket, like the sliding bracket underneath. So when you take it out of the car, you need to be very careful, or at least I do, that I don't scratch the sills, the door, even the door cards. I don't want to mark anything when I take the seat out the car. So once we've got the front seats out the car and out the way, it makes access to the back seats a lot easier. The base of this back seat is held in with just 2 screws, and once you've got those screws out, the base just pulls away. So removing the backrest of the back seat is a bit more complicated. There's 8 M10 torque screws. Now these came out no problem on my car because this isn't the original interior for the car. If you notice, the carpet is like a light grey. That means this car should have cloth in. If the car was meant to have leather, the carpet will be a darker shade. So that's one of the main reasons I'm taking the leather out, and because this is a summer car and it's not nice sitting on leather seats in your shorts in the summer. So I'm assuming this is not the standard hinge for a Sierra Cosworth opening armrest. It looks like it's been held in with some wood screws. I've never noticed this until now. That looks like an old cupboard hinge or something similar. I'll have to look into that. Right, so I've got the front seats out, the back seats and the armrest out, and I was like, yes, I'm done. Didn't take that long, but I've just remembered I also need to take the door cards off. 4 door cards, 2 at the front, 2 at the back. So that's the next job, whip the door cards off, couple of screws. So before all you Cosy lads message me asking to buy this leather interior, it is actually sold. I've sold it for £650 and the lad is coming out soon to pick it up. So I need to get out of the car, ready for the lad to pick up. 3 more to do. Right, so that is the car interior fully stripped. So the next job, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove the seat runners and take them to work and blast them, clean them up, get rid of all the rust, paint them up and make them look mint. They're not in bad condition, but I would like them looking absolutely tip top for when we put the interior back in. So let's get a 10mm socket and whip the 4 or 5 bolts off that hold these on. So that is the seat runner off. I am going to remove this seat belt by undoing these 2 torque screws. I do not want to get any paint or anything anywhere near this. I'm not even going to mask it up. I'm going to take it off so I don't damage it, so it all works perfectly. So that's what we'll do. We'll just take these 2 screws out and we'll keep this safe so we don't have to paint it or mess about with it. Now you might be thinking, Adam, if you're going to all this work, refurbish them seatbelt clickers, make it a better job. The problem is I take my family out in this car, so it's not worth risking anyone's safety for like a nicer looking seatbelt clicker. I would rather deal with a little bit of pitting, a couple of marks, than put anyone's safety at risk. Right, now let's get all these seat brackets to work and give them a good clean and a good paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the seat bracket in this sand blaster, and that's exactly what it does. It blasts sand through a high pressure air at the metal, and it removes any paint, any rust, totally. Doesn't leave anything there, just absolutely gets it tip top. Now you might also notice, if you can see close on the video, it doesn't look like Ford actually used any primer when painting stuff. I think it's just a very thin coat of black. So that's what we're going to do next time we paint them. We're going to put them in my paint booth and give them a thin coat of gloss black, exactly how Ford done it. So for some of the bigger stuff, I did have to put it on the washing line. It was too big to go in my paint booth. But if you do this, make sure there's no one home, because your girlfriend will get a bit annoyed with you if there's washing on the line. Fortunately, she didn't notice any overspray on any of the clothes, so I've got away with it unless she sees this video. Right, so while we wait for those seat rails to dry, in this box we've got some Recaro seat foam. Well, actually copy Recaro seat foam. It's £100 for a bolster on eBay for genuine Recaro. You can get 2 copy ones, which apparently are made from the same mould. You can get 2 for £100, so you're getting double. Right, so this here is the driver's seat, and this foam is going to go in this bolster here, because you can see here it's worn out, and you can feel the metal bar. That's a metal bar in the seat, so obviously when you're getting in and out, you're going to hurt your bum on that. So that'll go in there, hopefully. Then this one, this is the passenger seat, and that is one where obviously you will get in the passenger side. Now I have done this job once before, about 10 years ago, on the Sierra Cosworth, on the 3-door Cosworth, and I've done it with genuine Recaro foam bolsters. These are the copy ones, the replica ones. So let's have a go at stripping this seat and seeing if we can get that foam bolster to look alright. So the first job is to remove the seat reclining winder. It's just held in place with one Phillips screw. Next we'll remove this cover here, this plate, and it's actually held in place with some, they look like invisible pins. So let's have a go at removing this. These are hard to get, so I can't break it. I need to keep this in good condition. So you'll see here the invisible pin pop out. So there is the cover off, and you can see it's a genuine Recaro item. It's still got the sticker on the inside. Next we'll remove the screw and the clip that holds the back of the seat on. Once you've got the screw and the clip out, you can just pull the legs apart and the back of the seat comes off the base. Now with the back of the seat removed, it should be a lot easier to get access to the bolster. What you need to do is we want to start by removing this bit of plastic trim just along the base of the seat. Once you've got the clips off the cloth, you can then peel it back, and you can see the yellow foam underneath. This will have been white at one point, but you've got to remember this foam is 35 years old. The old bit of knackered foam out, and you can see the hole there where you can feel this bar through. So that took us literally 5-10 minutes. So let's get the new one, this one here, put it on and see if it, well, it will fix the problem, but just see if it's a good fit and looks like the other side. It's actually a pretty simple job, this, fellas. If you just take your time, you can probably do this job from start to finish in less than half an hour. And if you want to see a more detailed video on exactly how to replace this foam, I'll leave a link to a video below in the description of this video. Once the cloth's back in place, it's then just a case of putting the back of the seat back on, putting the clip back in place, putting the screw in, putting the cover on, and putting the reclining wheel on. And once the cloth's back in place with the new foam, it looks mint. I am buzzing with it. So a couple of weeks ago, I asked on Instagram the best way to clean the fabric on the seats. And a lot of people were saying, well actually most people said, to try one of these Vax duo washers. Now, you can get some like dry cleaning powder. I wanted something wet where I can like suck the old bum juice and that out the seats. I don't want other people's bum juice on my seats. So we've got a brand new Vax Duo SpotWash. If you want your own, Vax have supplied us with a code so you can get your very own Vax SpotWash for like discounted. So let's get it out, fill it with water, and we'll give it a go. Now these Vax Duo SpotWashers get mega reviews. It's actually got 2 compartments, one for clean water and one for your dirty water. It's even got a little self-cleaning port on the back to clean your pipes out when you're done. And one more thing I do like about this Duo SpotWash is it's nice and compact. It doesn't take up too much space in my garage, which is one thing I always seem to struggle with, space. Right, we'll attach this, put some water in the chambers and give it a go. So we've got the machine filled up, and I'm not going to lie fellas, I am not a professional at cleaning cars, but I have done some research And what people tend to do is they tend to wet the seats, then they give them a rub down with one of these soft bristled brushes. This is really soft. So we'll put this in the drill, then we'll get the Vax machine and we'll squirt the water on with this, froth it up, suck it off, see if it works. I'm going to start in the driver's seat. Right, we'll knock the machine off, get the drill and give it a froth. Let's turn the machine back on and suck the water out with a hoover attachment. There's the base done. I can already see most of the stains have gone. To be honest, I can't see any stains. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the back. So we've done the base, we'll do the back. That's the top all wetted, so let's turn the machine on and suck it off. So I'm over the moon, fellas, with how this seat came out. It looks a hell of a lot cleaner already. And if you look over here, I've got all the bits still to do. And in there's all the stuff that's came out the seat. The machine on there, mate, the red switch. This job's actually quite therapeutic. And I did enjoy doing it, and it's not hard at all. I even got my daughter to help us. Oh, you're doing good. And she's only 7-year-old and she's still doing a spot on job. Right fellas, look at the water, what this has sucked out of the interior. This isn't, I've emptied this about 3 or 4 times, so that is just like a quarter of the dirt that I've managed to get out the seats up to now. Right fellas, the interior is washed, it's dried, it's been out in the summer sun for about 12 hours. Before we fit it, let's quickly show you some dodgy MOT welding I found on the SAF. Right now, please remember fellas, at one time this car was worth next to nothing, so doing a cheap MOT weld wasn't really something strange. So if you look here, you can see at the bottom of the rear wheel arch, it's actually rusted through, then being welded, and it's the same on this side. So I'm going to take note of that, and we'll see the hole there, look. I'm going to take note of that and we'll get that fixed in the future. So for now, let's just ignore that dodgy welding and get the interior back in the car. Now when I say ignore the dodgy welding, I don't mean ignore it forever. I will get it sorted in the future. But for now, the nice weather's here. I want to get out in the car, but most importantly, I want to see how good this car is going to look with some nice cloth the car row seats in, especially now I've cleaned them up and they're looking tip top and spotless. And when I'm fitting them, I'm starting at the back. I've got plenty of space with the front seats out, so I can swing my legs about and get the back seats in place. So once the back seats are in, let's get the front seats in. But to get the front seats in, we need to go and get the bits I've painted that have been drying outside. We need the seat runners that go on the driver and passenger seat, so you can slide your seat backwards and forwards depending on how long your legs are. We're going to start with the most complicated seat, the driver's seat. The reason it's the most complicated seat is it's got the height adjustment on the seat, whereas a passenger seat can only go backwards and forwards. The driver's seat you can lift up and down if you're a little short person while you're driving. So there is the cleaned Recaro seat, ready to go in the car. It's got the new base all fitted, cleaned up, I've greased it. It is all moving perfect, so let's get it in the car. Once the seat's in place, all I'm going to do is get the bolts, put a little bit of copper slip on. I probably don't need copper slip, but I like to put it on every job I do. Then bolt the seat back into place nice and tight. And as you can see here, this has got the 2 extra holes where the seat belt mounts to the floor. So that is all the seats fitted in the car, the back, the two front ones. The next job, what we need to do is fit the door cards, but there's a bit of a problem with some of them. Some of the felt's been coming away, some of the cloth. Now, some years ago, I did refurbish the headlining on my car, and to stick the headlining to the old board, I used this stuff. This is like a spray stick adhesive, so that's what we're going to try. If it doesn't work in the future, we'll have a go at redoing it. We're going to squirt some of this on and see if it holds this cloth in place. That's stuck, so let's get this one on the car, then we'll do the other 3 door cards. So once all the door cards were glued down, I then just started fitting the door cards. I started with the rear passenger side door card, I screwed it to the door, and once it's screwed to the door, you can then fit some of the harder plastic parts, like the ashtray that's next to the opening door handle. Believe it or not, some cars used to come with ashtrays, and this car had 3. But you'll also notice I'm fitting black door handles. These should actually be grey, but the proper handles didn't come with the interior. The lad I bought the interior off did say he was going to post them out, but he started ghosting us. So I'm going to fit these black handles, and in the future I will replace them with some grey ones. And speaking of parts that are missing, when we fitted the front driver's door card, I actually lost the surround for the door opener on that. So if anyone has that, drop us a message on Instagram and I'll buy that off you. And guess what? I'm also missing the speaker grills for both front door cards. So if anyone's got any of the speaker grills, drop us a message. I'll happily buy them off you. I also need some speakers to go in the door. I'm not sure what speakers I'm going to put in yet. I'm not going to put standard ones in, we'll upgrade them, but that's for a later video. So there is the seats in, and they're not perfect, but to say I am chuffed is an understatement. I am absolutely buzzing with them. It looks so much better than the leather that was in, and it's going to be more comfortable to drive in the summer. Leather in the summer, especially in a car without aircon, is I find it very uncomfortable. These cloth seats are going to be absolutely spot on, and because we've cleaned them, they smell absolutely unreal. The car smells amazing. Right fellas, that's it. Thanks for watching. I am absolutely buzzing with how the interior has turned out in the SAF. I have took it for a drive since fitting the interior, and it is so much nicer to sit in, especially with your shorts on, than the leather. But unfortunately the car did break down. I had to get it towed back off the AA, so I'll tell you about that on the next video with the SAF. But if you want to catch along with anything kind of behind the scenes type stuff, check out my Instagram just here. And until then, I'll catch us on the next video. Cheers.